Hi everybody, this is Lindsay from windingroadcrochet.com, and today I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make the Alpine stitch. For this stitch, you will need to know how to chain, single crochet, double crochet, and front post double crochet. If you like the tutorial, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Before we start crocheting, let's just take a quick look at this stitch. This is a really pretty raised texture stitch. It's got these really neat little loops here that I think really stand out and make it very unique. Just so you know, the Alpine stitch can also be referred to as the ripple stitch, or sometimes the alternating front post and double crochet stitch. But let's go ahead and start working up this stitch. I'm just going to make a small sample here today, but you can definitely make this as long as you like. All you're going to need to do is chain an odd number of chains. I think I'm going to go ahead and chain about 15 to 17 chains here. And just so you know, I do not count my turning chain as a stitch when I crochet. Here is my completed foundation chain. Let's go ahead and get started with row 1. We will start our first row by double crocheting into the third chain from the hook and in each chain across the row. So row 1 is just a simple row of double crochet. This is going to help get us set up to do our texture in the next few rows. So here we've completed our first row of all double crochet, and we'll go ahead and start on row 2. For row 2, we will chain 1 and turn our work. Now we will single crochet in each stitch along the row. This is our second kind of foundation row in order to get us set up to do our textures starting in row 3. So we made it to row 3, and this is where the fun begins to happen. This is the row we will start doing our front post double crochet to create that nice texture of the Alpine stitch. Start by chaining 2 and turning your work. You're going to work a double crochet into your very first stitch. Then working into the next stitch, we're not going to work into the single crochet, but instead we're going to work into the double crochet row of row 1. You're going to work around the second double crochet worked in row 1 and do a front post double crochet. But for this front post double crochet, you're going to want to keep the tension on your yarn very, very loose. I'm going to pull it under that loop, pull up so that you're about level with that top of the single crochet row, and then you can go ahead and complete that double crochet. That's going to give us that really pretty loop texture that you get working around that front post double crochet. Looking back at our finished piece, you can see how that very loose front post double crochet is really what gives the Alpine stitch its beautiful texture. So continuing on with row 3, we are going to do a double crochet into the next stitch and then continue repeating front post double crochet and then a double crochet, always working your front post double crochet into the row 1 double crochet stitches. So go behind that stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull that on that loop so that you have yourself flush with the top of the single crochet row, and then complete your double crochet. And repeat that all the way across this row. Your very last repeat will end with a double crochet in the very last stitch. And there is our first row of texture. For row 4, we are going to chain 1 and work a single crochet in every stitch across. The Alpine stitch is made with a 4-row repeat. Your first row is single crochet, your second row is a alternating double crochet and front post double crochet, your third row is also single crochet, and then your fourth row is the alternating front post double crochet and double crochet, but this time you're working into the opposite stitches of the second row. And you'll just repeat that until your project is as long as you'd like it to be. Now we are all set up to do another row of texture. So for this row, we will be working into the opposite stitches from the previous texture row. To start this row, we will do a double crochet in the first and second stitch. You'll notice that the second stitch is directly above our front post from row 3. And then in the third stitch is when we will work our first front post double crochet, and we are working it into the double crochet of row 3, not the front post stitches, but the double crochet. So we'll go around this double crochet, yarn over, keeping your tension very loose, pull up that stitch, and then complete your double crochet. Then we'll just double crochet, skip one stitch and go into the next stitch. If you look on the back, you'll see where you've skipped stitches from that single crochet row, because that is your front post double crochet row worked into the row under it. So now again we are working into that double crochet stitch that is in between the front post double crochets of row 3. Pull up your stitch, keep that tension on the yarn very loose, and complete your double crochet. And then simply double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to repeat these 2 stitches all the way across until you reach the end. If you're interested in the written pattern for this stitch, as well as a photo tutorial, you can check that out on my blog post, where I've actually done the photo tutorial using alternating colors for each row, and that is in a link in the description box below. So the end of your last repeat will have you doing a double crochet in the second to last stitch, and then to finish the row you will just work a double crochet into the very last stitch. And now you're ready to go ahead and repeat rows 2 through 5 again to make your project as long as you'd like to have it. I'm going to go ahead and work this up into a square, and then I will show you how I will single crochet around the edge to add a nice border. If you're making a blanket with this stitch, or you're making the samples for my crochet along, you are going to want to add a single crochet border around your work. You're always going to want a single crochet with the pattern, the texture facing you. So to do that, we're going to chain 1 and then begin working down the side of this row. You are going to work 2 single crochets into the side of every double crochet. So 1 single crochet, and then going through that stitch, a second single crochet, and then you're going to work a single crochet into the side of the single crochet row, and just repeat this until you reach the end of the row. 2 single crochet into the side of our double crochets, and 1 single crochet into the side of the single crochet rows. And now you have a nice, neat single crochet row along those sides. For the corner, you will chain 1 and then begin working a single crochet into the bottom of each stitch until you reach your corner again, where you will chain 1 and then begin single crocheting down the other side exactly as we did the first side. You will chain 1 again at the corner and then single crochet along the top of the very last row, full row we worked. So you'll single crochet down this side, chain 1 in the corner, and then single crochet along the tops of the rows. And that will give us our single crochet border. So here I have everything finished. For my last corner, I'm going to chain 1, and then I will simply slip stitch into that first single crochet, and that will give me a nice neat border around my work. So I really hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, definitely make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, that helps me out a lot. Let me know in the comments below any other stitch patterns you would like me to do tutorials for, or go check out my blog and let me know what pattern tutorials you would like me to make videos for.